we've come to the final step. Okay, after sentiment analysis has been conducted, so you would expect that marketing and sales would department or people would want to be able to go and retrieve the relevant reviews from the corpus. Okay, if one of the corpus, one of the reviews especially, or many of the reviews are saying very negative things about your product, you would want to have not only evidence but also to provide information to the department responsible, okay, to do something about it or to look into it. So in this case, it could be the marketing and sales personnel, okay. So from the reviews, the sales and marketing personnel will be able to gain insight into what is wrong with the product or service offered. Are there anything that can be improved? This is so efficiency can actually be increased. So searching here by relevance, okay, is possible when we use TF-IDF, which stands for Term Frequency Inverse Document Frequency. Okay, TF-IDF. For TF-IDF to work, each query is going to be parsed into different terms and words. For example, if you have S8 camera quality, okay, that's the whole query that you post, then it will be parsed into S8, camera, and quality words. So what is term frequency inverse document frequency? It is a weight-based, okay, it's a weight-based matrix to identify reviews or documents that are relevant to some posted query terms. Okay, the underlying idea is of rare terms are being weighted higher. So the more rare the term is found in the corpus, okay, the higher the weight, meaning the more relevant it is. Right? So in TF-IDF, yeah, it consists of two parts, term frequency and then inverse document frequency, which means that you will calculate the term frequency first and then you will calculate the inverse document frequency. After that, okay, only after calculating term frequency and inverse document frequency, you will combine them together with a multiplication. What is term frequency? Term frequency is the number of times a term is found in a document over the total number of terms in a document, in the particular document. Okay, so if you have a document consisting of 1,000 terms in there, so let's say the word Python pops up or exists only 5 times. So the term frequency is 5 for that particular term. Okay, that term is the term that we want to search for. Another example, maybe a more relevant example, is like the Samsung S8 just now. So when you calculate the term frequency, you want to take a look at the number of times Samsung appears in a document. Okay, the word Samsung appears in a document. Okay, so the next one is document frequency. This is the number of documents with term T in it, some kind of term, Samsung appears in it, for example. So in your corpus, let's say you have about 500 documents. So you want to see from that 500, how many documents contain Samsung, yeah? And finally, you want to calculate the inverse document frequency, the IDF. For this, you use the logarithm of document frequency, okay, which is going to indicate the rarity of a term. So this is the so-called formula. Okay, an example. Let's say you want to find documents that's relevant to car insurance. Okay, you want to find something on car insurance. So of course, when you construct the query, you're going to use the word car, the word insurance, okay, and you're going to kind of use the best because you're trying to find about car insurance, and of course the best one. All right, but there's also another word that is used for car, which is auto, a short name for automobile. So when you have these four terms, okay, when you use these four terms, you're going to be able to see the how, you know, the difference in how rare they are, and which one is it that's going to yield the best, the most relevant documents. So let's say we calculate the document frequency for each of one of these four terms. Of course, logically, the word best is going to appear in on most documents, because it's not just best car, it's also there's best house, best food, best drink, yeah. So it's just the word best is going to appear in many, okay, in numerous documents. And then the second word that's most likely to appear or to be frequent in documents would be insurance, because there's not just car insurance, you know, there's also uh, house insurance, there's also theft insurance, property insurance. So insurance is going to pop up in many documents that's not really relevant with what you're searching, which is car insurance. Yeah? And then of course the word car, of course if you're going to just use the term car, it's not going to be useful because there's a lot of mentions about car. However, if you were to use the word auto, yeah, the word auto is very rarely being used. So what happened is that it will result in documents that is more likely to just be relevant to auto. So if you were to pair it up with the word insurance, auto insurance, then the documents that will be returned is more likely, okay, standing a higher chance that it is, you know, talking about car insurance. Okay. So the IDF here is definitely an inverse of the document frequency, because as you can see here, with document frequency auto, the auto term has the lowest number of occurrence, but with the IDF, it yields a very high weight. So how do we calculate the FIDF? And it's quite important to know this because the FIDF is not just really being used for search, it's also being used for other areas too. Okay, so let's say we have a query, okay, with two terms. The first term is this and the second is example. It's a very simplified example, okay, where we have a very small corpus of only document 1 and document 2, and these are the term counts. Yeah, right? So how do we calculate the term frequency? Okay, we calculate per document and per, okay, for each term. So the first term, which is the word this, how many times did it occur in document 1? Once, and then divided by the number of all of the documents, all of the terms. So that's 5. So 1 out of 5 is 0.2. And you calculate also for each and one of, okay, the terms for each and one of the document. Okay, so in this case, for the term this, what we get, okay, is the TF and the IDF. Okay, so here we have the TF IDF of 0 because the IDF yields 0. So anything times 0 is 0. Okay, so the TF IDF for the word this, or for the term this, is 0 for both of the documents. Next, we will calculate for the term example. So here, okay, in document 1, there's no example word in there, so it's already 0. So this TF is going to yield 0. Whereas for document 2, okay, example, there's 3 occurrences of example. So 3 out of 7, 7 because of the total number of terms in document 2. Okay, and then you will get this 0 point approximation of 0.429. Okay, the IDF you can have, okay, 2 over 1. Yeah, okay, and the log is going to be, we'll get 0.301. Okay, so how do we get this? 2 is the size of the corpus, yeah, and then divided by the document frequency for this term. So let's see, okay, example appears only in document 2. So it is only, the F is only 1, and you will get this. Okay, so you calculate the TF, IDF for the term example, but it doesn't stop here. Okay, the scoring of TF, IDF is the sum of the TF, IDF for each of the term, okay, as well as each of the document. So this purple box, okay, refers to these calculation of the terms in document 1, okay, and the brown box refers to the TF IDF for document 2, because we want to see if document 1 or document 2 is the one that's more relevant to our search term. Okay, so when you calculate TF-IDF, you need to determine to the very last, okay, which document is more relevant. So when you sum up, okay, the TF-IDF for each and one of the terms, okay, then you will be able to find that which document is most relevant, and in this case it is document number 2. Okay, so that wraps up for the final step.